So we're in 3.6. You can also see some animations of these constructions on a website called mathopenreference.com. So you can search for these constructions and they'll show you, they have animations of the constructions being done. All right, so the first one is constructing a parallel line. And we're constructing our parallel line through a point not on the line. So here's where we start. We have a line and a point that's not on the line. And we know by the parallel postulate that we can construct, or that there is a parallel line that goes through that point. I think on your sheet it calls this point R. The way that I think about this one, the instructions on the sheet are a little bit different, but the way that they do essentially the same thing. What we're going to do is draw an angle, and then we're going to copy the angle. And copy an angle is a construction that we already know how to do. So what I'm going to do is, with my straight edge, I'm just going to draw an angle that goes through this point. It just has to go through the point and through the line. It can be any angle. So there's my angle. And what I'm going to do is copy this angle up here at this point, and what I'm doing, or not essentially, exactly what I'm doing, is I'm going to construct congruent corresponding angles. And we know when corresponding angles are congruent that we get parallel lines. So now we're going to do our copy an angle construction. So to copy an angle, you put your point on the vertex of the angle you want to copy, and we draw an arc. And for the parallel line, I like to make the arc a little on the bigger side, because a lot of times my parallel line constructions don't turn out great, and that makes them turn out a little better. So we draw an arc through the angle. It can be any arc. And now we're going to move the point of our compass to the point that we want our parallel line to go through. And we draw the same arc. And now I'm going to take my compass and put the point on where the arc crosses my line here and measure exactly across the angle. So I've got my compass exactly as far open as the angle. Move the point up to the arc, the second arc that I drew. And I'm going to make a mark. And now I can draw a straight line from my point through the little X, and I have a parallel line. So this line is going to be parallel to this line. And what I've done is make sure that this angle and this angle are congruent. And those are corresponding angles for this transversal. So when corresponding angles are congruent, my lines are parallel. All right. So I'll do that one more time. So let's take a look at that one again. We have a line. We have a point. We want our parallel line to go through that point. So we draw an angle. It can be any angle. I'm going to copy that angle. So draw an arc through the angle. Bring my point of the compass up to the point that I want my line to go through. Draw the same arc. Measure across the angle with my compass. Move the point up to the second arc. And draw my line through those 2 points. And there's my parallel line. All right, questions? All right, the next 2 constructions have to do with perpendicular lines now. So let's take a look at those. So the next one is perpendicular line through a point not on the line. And another way that you might see this referred to is dropping a perpendicular. All right, so we're going to start with like before, we're going to start with a line and a point that's not on that line. So there's my line, and there's my point. And I want a perpendicular line that goes through that point to the line here. This one has a nickname. We call this one the smiley face. So what we're going to do is take our compass, put it on the point, and we need to open the compass past the line. And I make my smiley face. There's my smiley face. And we could put this, there's my nice happy smiley face. All right, so now what we're going to do is we've made a segment on the line, so where the edges of the smile cross the line, we're going to bisect this segment. And we already know our bisect a segment construction. That's the one where we open our compass more than halfway across the segment. So let's do that one. Put our compass point on one side of the segment, open our compass more than halfway. And I just need to make the arc go under the line because our line is going to go through the point above. So there's one arc. Move the compass without changing the setting to the other side. There's our other arc. And now I just need to connect this point to where those two cross. There's that. And that segment is perpendicular. So our perpendicular through a point not on the line, we call dropping a perpendicular, is a smiley face construction. All right, let's look at another. I'll do the smiley face again. All right, so there's our line. and there's our point. So I'm going to do my smiley face, grab my compass, and I set it here. I open this halfway across my line, and I make my smile. Oh no, it doesn't cross on that side. What do I do? Yeah, extend the line, make it longer. So I'm just going to take my straight edge and make that line longer, and we're all set. There's the segment where the smile crosses the line. We will bisect that segment. So I put my compass on one side of the smile, open up more than halfway across the smile, make one arc here. Take my compass, put it on the other side of the smile, make another arc, connect the point to where those two arcs cross, and there's my perpendicular segment. All right, questions? Okay, the last one is we want a perpendicular through a point on the line. And this one has a nickname also. This one is the bow tie. So we have a line, and this time the point that we want our perpendicular line to go through is on the line. The other name that you'll see this called is raising a perpendicular. So we want to raise a perpendicular from that point. So let's make our bow tie. Grab your compass, set it on the point, and we're just going to make an arc. And now I'm going to move my compass. I'm doing an extra step just so it's a little nicer. Move the compass around, and we make the same arc on the other side of the point. And there's our bow tie. And now we're going to, just like we did last time, we're going to bisect this segment. So we use our bisect a segment construction, put our compass on one side of the bow tie, open it up more than halfway across. This time I need to make my arc go above and below. Move the compass to the other side of the bow tie, don't change the setting. Make another arc, and then we're going to connect those two points. Let me do a little better job of that. There we go. And there is our perpendicular line. That's our bow tie construction. All right, let's look at that one more time. There's my line. There's my point. I grab my compass. I'm going to make my bow tie. So I take my compass and I make an arc over here. And I don't want it to make an entire circle. We just need to make... And I want to make my bow tie, so I'm going to put the compass over to the other side. I'm just doing an extra step here just to make it easier for me. All right. My compass doesn't cross the line. What do? Extend the line. You've got a straight edge. Extend the line so it goes further. Grab the compass. I've got to make sure it's open the right distance. Yep, still is. Make my bow tie on this side. There's my bow tie. Bisect that bow tie. So open the compass more than halfway across the bow tie. Make an arc. Go to the other side. Keep the compass the same. Make another arc. And then connect where the two arcs cross. And there is our perpendicular segment that goes through the point. All right, questions there? Okay, I have a question for you. Can anyone think, based on the constructions, the last two constructions we did, what's another way that we can construct a parallel line? Anybody come up with an idea how we could construct another parallel, a different way to construct a parallel line than copying an angle? What if we made a perpendicular line and then another perpendicular line? So if I start with a line like so, I can do the bow tie construction here. There's my bow tie construction. Whoops. There's my bow tie, so I'm going to construct a perpendicular line there, like so. And then if I construct another perpendicular line here, change the color. So here's my other bow tie. Oops, I didn't want to do that. Undo that. Just want to move that. Need to extend that a little bit. There's my bow tie. I'll bisect that bow tie. My construction's not perfect, but that's okay. Bisect that bow tie. And this is perpendicular. This is perpendicular. So this line will be parallel to this line. If we needed the parallel line to go through a specific point, instead of doing the bow tie construction first, we could do the smiley face construction first and construct a perpendicular segment. So this is a different way to construct parallel lines. I could use this construction to make a square now. I could make sure these sides were all the same length, and I'd end up with a square. I could construct a rectangle. I could construct a parallelogram this way. So we can use our constructions that we're learning to build new constructions. All right, questions? Okay. All right, there's that.